All right, we're going to now do adding integers. We're just going to model it first and go through some of the processes with that. Okay, so we're going to remember now the yellow chips are positives and the red chips are negatives. All right, so if we want to model 2 plus a negative 5, we have 2 yellow chips and 5 red chips. Well, we have to cancel out all of our 0 pairs, so that means a positive 1 plus a negative 1, that's a 0 pair, and that equals 0. 1 plus 1 minus 1 is 0. So this and this cancel out, this and this, so we're left with 3 red. Well, that gives us 3, but the red's negative, so it's negative 3. So 2 plus a negative 5 is negative 3. Let's do another one. Negative 3, we got 3 reds, plus 7, we got 7 yellows. So let's cross out all of our 0 pairs. We have 3 of them, and that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 4s are yellow, so it's positive 4. So negative 3 plus 7 is positive 4. Now if I have negative 4 plus negative 1, well that's 4 reds plus 1 red. There's no 0 pairs, so it just simply is going to leave us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's red, so it's negative 5. So negative 4 plus a negative 1 is negative 5. I didn't demonstrate like a 4 plus 1, both positive, because we've been doing that. You've been doing that for years. You know that 4 plus 1 is 5. They're both positive. We add them together, the answer is positive. Okay, now let's model on the number line. If we have 2 plus a negative 5, well, we find 2 on the number line, and then we're going to add a negative 5. So adding would be to go to the right, making it more, but we have a negative, so that means we're going to switch and go to the left 5 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we land on negative 3. So 2 plus a negative 5 is negative 3, and that squares with what we already got when we did the chips. Okay, negative 3 plus 7. We're going to start on negative 3, and we're going to add, so it means we're going to go to the right, and we're going to go to the right 7 because it's a positive 7. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we land on 4. So negative 3 plus 7 is a positive 4. All right? All right, last one here, negative 4 plus a negative 1. We start on negative 4. We're going to add, meaning we're going to think and we're going to go to the right, go make it more, but then we have a negative 1, so we have to reverse it and go down 1, and we land on negative 5. So negative 4 plus negative 1 is a negative 5. Okay, another way to model it, besides a number line and chips, is using heaps and holes. A heap is a pile above the ground, like if you're going to go to the beach and you want to dig in the sand, you dig a heap, you dig in the sand, you get a heap, a pile would be above the sand. So that would represent positive 1, one heap. A hole would be a pile below the ground, and that would symbolize negative 1. So let me show you how you work with this. For example, if you have 4 plus 6, we'll start real simple. That means we draw your ground, so to speak, your line, and we have 4 above the line, right? 4 heaps because it's positive, plus 6 of them. We draw 6 heaps, and altogether, if we count them, we'll get 10, positive 10. If you have 4 plus a negative 6, well, you have 4 heaps above the ground, and then you have negative 6. That means a hole, which would mean below the ground. And always start to the on the left side, okay, just as if you're reading it. So we're going to do 6 holes below the ground. We're going to match them up as much as we can. We have 2 left. So each of these matchups is basically a 0 pair, or a heap and a hole equals 0, and that's the additive inverse, the 0 pair, however you want to say it. But we're left with 2, but it's 2 underground, so it'd be negative 2. 2 holes, so they're underground, so it's negative. Now if I start with a negative 4, that means I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. I've got to add 6 heaps, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, I cross off the ones that are 0 pairs, and I have 2, but they're above the ground, so it's a positive 2. Now let's say I have negative 4 and then I have negative 6. I go 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. Then I've got to add 6 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had to get my ground a little bit longer. But all together I have 10, and they're all negative. They're all holes, so it'd be negative 10. All right, now those are 3 different models. Another way you can add, another way to think about it, or maybe you want to remember, is a little tune, a little rhyme. And this goes to the song of Jingle Bells. Okay? This is another way to memorize it where it's not a model, but it's a really good way. If you can just remember Jingle Bells and the rhyme, you got it. And this really helps for like bigger numbers, like if you have negative 132 plus negative 29, that's going to be a little hard to do on the number line or with chips. So this might help you when the numbers are bigger. But it goes like signs, add and keep the sign. Unlike sign, subtract this time and keep the higher sign. Hey, Okay, so let's just use that model. And it only works when you're adding. This is only when you're adding integers, not subtracting them, not multiplying, not dividing. Only when there's a plus sign in between the two numbers. All right, so I have 2 plus a negative 5. Well, this is unlike signs. The signs are different. This one's negative and that one's positive. So unlike signs subtract. So I'm going to subtract 5 minus 2. Well, 5 minus 2 is 3. Now I'm going to keep the higher sign. Now this is really sort of, I'm going to keep the keep the sign of the absolute value of the higher, really absolute value is what is in there, but that wouldn't really fit into the rhyme, into the song. So we're just going to say, well, 5 is bigger than 2, and 5 has a negative, so the answer is negative 3. Let's work through some more. Negative 3 plus positive 7, the signs are not alike, so I'm going to subtract. 7 minus 3 is 4. And this time the higher number is 7, and it's positive, so it's going to be a positive 4. Here I have two signs that are alike, so like signs add. So I'm going to add 4 plus 1 is 5. I'm going to add and keep the sign. The sign, both signs are negative, so it's a negative 5. Here I have both signs are the same, so I'm going to add them. 10 plus 8 is 18, and they're both negative, so it's negative 18. Here the signs are different, so I subtract. 10 minus 8 is 2, and I keep the higher sign. Well, 10 is bigger than 2. This 10 has a negative, so it's negative 2. 10 plus negative 8, the signs are different, so I subtract. 10 minus 8 is 2. The higher number is 10. It's positive, so the answer is a positive 2. Here, 10 plus 8 is like signs add. They're both alike. Like signs add, add and keep the sign. 10 plus 8 is 18, and keep the sign is positive, because they're both positive. Okay, last one, the signs are not alike, so set negative 17 plus 9, well, I subtract them, so 17 minus 9 is 8. And I keep the higher sign. 17, the absolute value of negative 17 is 17. So 17 is higher than 9, and it's negative, so the answer is negative 8. And we'll work a lot with those in class, so we'll see more how to do them. But that gives you 4 different ways to kind of understand how to add integers.